Hello, Planet Sewers. Welcome back to the Houston Zoo Recreation Zoo. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not, of course, welcome back. Thank you for watching. So we're just taking a little tour, a little sky view over the zoo. So here's what I started. It is our Reptile House. And make sure you check out the other projects that I have. I have the St. Louis Recreation Zoo as a live stream. I will be putting out a speed build of that entrance very soon. It is finished. It's on the workshop as a zoo. And also, I have a franchise series that's in real time if you're interested in that. So we're gonna hop to our speed build. If you haven't subscribed and you have, shoot, man, I can't talk. Anyway, you get the idea. Please subscribe if you find yourself here often, or if it's your first time and you like what you see. I do appreciate it. Anyway, I always forget when I make a building to flatten the foundation, and then I run into this problem where when I go to do the floor, it has like a little piece here, a little piece there that peeks out. So I wanted to include that transformer in this building, and this is a lot larger, I guess, in game than it really is in the zoo. But I did want it to kind of span all the way out here to kind of fill the space, as well as fit everything inside, because the exhibits are a little bit big. So right now I am making a circle so that I can have some bricks that are circular. It has a little brick circular piece over the door. I find myself making a lot of circles lately. I do blueprint them every time I make one. I should probably load the game and put every circle I've ever made into one blueprint and put that on the workshop. I'm sure lots of people would enjoy it. A lot of times I just need the half circle, so I do just make the full circle in case I ever need this one again. But it seems like I don't ever need them again, but they're there if I ever do. And I made this planter a little bit larger than it really is, since our building is exaggerated, and then added another layer up here. I felt it wasn't quite tall enough to fit what was going on in the zoo with this build. So it did have a little bit extra on the top with some ivy coming down. So we're going to do that too. I did not finish all of the, foliage. And they do have a snake sculpture, but it's not this large. It's actually very small. But I found this guy and I was like, well, we're going to put him in for that snake sculpture. Like, why don't we have cobras in the game? Like, we need them. Anyway, I couldn't find a frog statue, so I made my own with a sign. I was trying to kind of make him look like the bronze that was in the game, but I didn't like any of the colors, so I just went back with him just kind of not white but gray, and looking for a rock to put him on so he's not just kind of free floating in the air. Give him a little tilt. Yeah, I wish there was a better frog, but that's the best I could do without really creating my own, using a lot of pieces, and I decided to go with that guy. So we're putting in some mulch for the flower bed, and I'm using a resource picture from Google, from their walkthrough, and putting in different plants that I kind of see from the angle that I'm standing at, trying to recreate their little foliage scheme, which really just kind of looks like certain plants that one time were put in and all nice and pretty, and then kind of left to just do their thing. They look good. They don't look bad, but they're not manicured and all neat and tidy. They're just kind of all along that walkway next to the building, put in purposely, I think, to be low maintenance. So I was putting in the little lady ferns back there, and then another row, and I was looking for different ideas of plants to put right here, and finally decided on these guys. Like I said, the other planter that they have here is really small. It's just a tiny little square. I made this one a little bit longer just to have fun with it, and I just like the balance of that size better than just a little tiny one, since our building is a little exaggerated, so that I could fit everything that's going inside of this building, which is a lot of exhibits, a lot of implied exhibits, and then I haven't finished it yet, but we'll talk about it in the walkthrough. So I decided to use just a lot of different random plants, trying to get bush feels, like an ivy feel, getting the coloring. They had a real yellow colored bush right there, so that was why I sunk that tree. And then they did have what looked more like kind of a running ivy-ish bush right there, so I went with that arrowwood bush, I think is what it's called. And oops, I hit my Windows key. It happens quite often. The control, I don't know, I just miss it sometimes. But anyway, so I was kind of getting the rest of that and then bringing it back towards the back of the building, and decided I would leave that foliage for another day on that side of the building. And once we get everything kind of finished, I'll look from the sky and see what it looks like from the satellite view in those areas. Mine are a lot larger, like I said. The game scale is a little bit off. I was really struggling, man. I just wanted that one. So when I finally got them the second time, I was like, I'm grouping you so I don't have to fight to get that one little one. And then I should have grouped the first one the first time. So the struggle was back. I needed to get it one more time. And this side of it, of the building, was definitely more covered in ivy than the other one. The first side, it kind of just came down from the roof a little bit, and this side was just really dense. And the one thing I did forget to do on the outside of the building is put in a sign that it's a reptile house. So I decided I would grab this glass door from our nature walk area with the education building. I liked the door. I did make a blueprint of it. I haven't put it on the workshop. I need to put a couple things up and edit some things from the St. Louis Zoo. I got them up, but the pictures aren't that great. But I'll put this on the workshop as well. You never have too many options for custom glass doors, I think. So I kind of edited this one. I wanted it to be gray because it wasn't a specific color, so I did blueprint it. The reason I haven't put it up yet is I wanted to go back and group just all the recolorable pieces to make it easier to change the color. So I wanted the frame of this to be where, you know, it could actually look like it functions. So I had to go into the ground and get those other pieces so that, you know, it looks supported, and then got an angry archer out so I could see where I needed to kind of move my handles to, and I thought that turned out pretty good. This is when I realized I really should have made this circular area 4 wide and not 2, because they actually had 2 doors coming in and out of here, but that's okay. And then they did have some little vinyl stickers on the windows, so I stuck a frog in there. I thought it was kind of a cute way to give the homage to their frog stickers that they had on their window. And then I just kind of randomly, but kind of patterned, put in some of those exhibits. And I need to double check and see if that transformer actually hits where guests can walk. I never did check that. And then this really bothered me. I didn't understand why those things over there were showing up red, like they didn't have power. Maybe I turned off their lights, I don't know. And then I put in a grid path inside the building, so there's all staff path on the outside, and I put in a large keeper hut, and I put in later a large staff room, because this area will need quite a bit of staff to be able to maintain all the animals I'm about to put into this building. But it's going to be fun. I was really excited how it turned out. I did lose a little bit of footage. I had turned off the screen recording to buy animals and put them all in at one point, and then I forgot to turn it back on. I'm so sorry. So we do miss out a little bit on setting the theme for these, and then I was editing some things when I discovered when I put the education boards out, they weren't going to work the way I wanted them to. Excuse me. Anyway, so I had not recorded. I turned it off while I fiddled with all of that. But anyway, it's just me changing signs in the game and getting everything lined up so that it's not off-center too much. And I really struggled with covering this side. I tried several ideas. I was really bothered by the shadowing, but I figured once I got a roof on here that you wouldn't be able to see all the little curves in that, because that one side just seemed to create a shadow. It's really interesting. But it was the case when I got the roof on here. The art shapes lost that coloring that's inside. But I tried making a circle with the circular ones. I tried a couple of things. This was my end way to cover up the inside so that we still had the circular shape but not covering up the windows. And then I was looking for a sign, because at first I was like, this is really bothering me. And then I was amused by how they attached. I was really tempted to run that all the way down the wall. But nobody would see it because it's going into the staff area. Alrighty, so I bought all the reptiles I could, a pair of each one that was a reptile. So snakes, frogs, lizards, I even got turtles, the little terrapins, and then I put them all in, and then I realized I need more. So I duplicated some more of them, and I didn't put in editing each little container. The way I set them up was I put the 3D, if it was available, on the left, the right, and the back. And if there were two together, I put the same species in each one. And, of course, I didn't put anything on the right, the two where they meet, the left and right side, as you can kind of see right there. And then, I don't know why, but if you go on the inside with this, they glitch a little bit. But if you go on the outside, then when you go to snap the education to it, they sink in and the guests sink in. So I kind of split a lot of these out so that I could get that bottom piece kind of right where I wanted it. Same thing with the tops. There's a lot of split groups in here. So I would just set them down and then highlight them all, as you can see right here, split them out, use X to kind of just nudge them to where they hopefully got close to meeting. I could see right here that one didn't, and I was really struggling to get a hold of that group so I could scoot it over. And then right there, I'm going to put in a service door for staff. I'm going to put in a couple of them at different spots where the the staff path meets. And then I thought that I had all of this nice and perfect, and then right there's that one path that just barely sticks out of my floor. I was really annoyed, but I didn't fix it because that area is staff area anyway, so we'll just leave it alone. I didn't feel like going back and fighting that. And then just covering the whole floor. Originally, I wasn't going to put it underneath the exhibits, but then I decided to go ahead and do that just in case, there was visible grass or something. So I just threw in the floor, and I did separate it. So I set one down, split it from the group, and then sink it down just barely, and then I go from there. That way I don't have to highlight the whole floor. Once I get the one where it needs to be, if I have done my flattened terrain properly, it should be good to go. And so I was just going around and adding that 1 meter section to make it level with the actual building, so that all of those will meet the ceiling when I put it in. And I really fought with this. It took me a hot minute. I had several versions of trying to get that path to connect in, because I did start building on play, and I was like, why aren't my guests coming in? Originally I was going to do red here, and then I changed it to gray. I was like, I don't like that. I couldn't get the right colors, so I went with gray. But yeah, I was like, why aren't my guests coming in? Oh, because I haven't connected any path for them to be able to get in here. So, all right. So I've got my donation bins and my nice empty space in the middle. You'll find out in the walkthrough what that's for. And then here I'm doing my work zones. So I did Reptile House 1 and Reptile House 2. And this is when I realized I didn't have a break room for them. So it's split, and then I'm going to put down, we're going to see how it works. I ended up deciding to do 3 on each side of keepers. I did a caretaker on each side, and then I threw in another vet just for fun. Oh, and I put a mechanic on each side. I forgot the security guard, so I do need to put in a security guard. So probably what I'll do is make another one, because I don't need 2 security guards in that group. I just need one with the whole thing, so the security guard can just walk around in here. I don't need 2 of them, but I did want to split the work zones. That gave me a lot of struggle right there with building this, and so I blueprinted it because I split one out, and I wanted to be able to put that in. So there, like I said, a lot of split groups in here to try to get the feel that I wanted. It's not 100% at all. It's a little bit of the feel. I may need to go back and change the color of the plaster in here, but I was pretty happy with how this building turned out. It was not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. And then right here, I was like, ooh, I'll copy over this, and then I'll put in a light, and we'll just copy that over. So I decided once I got this light built, because it wouldn't slide all nice and pretty, because it's not, I guess, a symmetrical thing. So it was putting all the arrows in really weird places. It wouldn't slide left and right. I'm not on the, what do you call it? The zoo grid. So what I ended up doing is highlighting my little vent light, because that's what I'm using to build this, are vents. As you see right there, my arrows aren't straight, so I was going to slide it down. I was so unhappy. So I did group it, put another one kind of down on the other end, and then I highlight just those 2 pieces, and that way I can put the light everywhere. I did turn it. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because it kind of gives it a different angle instead of being straight, but I think it turns out just fine. And so I did all that, and then realized they were 1 notch too low, so I had to go around and do it again. So I'm just placing these kind of 1 space away from each, and then making sure all the staff areas are lit up too, and then filling in the blanks, and we're almost done with our reptile house. So it's got the roof. I'm going to put in a couple of details as well, but I was just checking out how the lighting was, and there we are. So we're at the entrance of the Houston Zoo. So today we'll go through here. I know it says exit only, but we're going to be rebels, and we're going to walk through the gift shop a little bit. We'll come out this side instead of going through the actual entrance, because we always go through it. I do need to, I say this every time, still figure out how I want to set up this. I'm kind of waiting till they finish the Galapagos Island. I may kind of get into that once that's open, because I have a feeling I'll still be building. So we'll say goodbye to this pretty building here, the Macaw Cafe, and put in the Galapagos Island area. And so we're gonna, like right there, they have all that just blocked off. I've been meaning to put it up. Once I start working on that side of the zoo, I think I will, if they haven't opened that up yet. So we're gonna go visit our seals today. Since last week we looked at a different section of the zoo, we'll look at the seal habitat today before we get to our new section. But I don't see my seals. Usually they're all right there. I have to have seals. There's tons of people in here. So let's see. Let's go this way. I don't see a seal. Man, where are my seals? Maybe there's one over there because there's a lot of people standing and hooting and hollering. Let's see. Oh, he's on the sleeping jetty. There's the seal. And oh, there's another one way back there. And I think there's a baby sleeping over there on the inside part where their shelter is. So there's the seal habitat. That's episode 3 if you are just joining, where I made that build. And Macaw Cafe is episode 2. And then this area right here is episode 4 with the, what did I call it? Reflection pool. This water feature. So we just have a lot of foliage, a little bit of streaming water coming up, some lights for nighttime. I need to probably put some poles in there to make it a little more realistic. I mean, those lights don't just float and stay. I mean, that'd be cool if they did, but they have to be anchored down. And then this end is actually, there's a building right here. I just put that exhibit so people would actually come down here. Especially when I first built the zoo, I didn't have any exhibits other than the seal as far as the habitat goes. So we're going to go visit that build in just a minute. First, we're going to go talk about where the zoo's going after this episode. So let's see. The last episode was the okapi. I think we've decided it's how you say it, okapi. I think English say it different than Americans. But anyway, here we are. They're hiding in the back as usual. So this was last week's episode. And coming out here, this is where we're going to do some Pygmy Hippos. And there's some zebras out here. And I think another African animal is out here. And then this direction right here is where the gorillas are. So I'm working my way out that direction. And then there is lions and bears in this field here, as well as where we're getting ready to walk. They do have another huge primate section. So my goal is to get out to these primate sections and get them started, because I do have some things in the works to get some help with that. So as it gets closer, we'll talk about that some more. So it'll be the first person to actually build in here other than me. So that right there is going to be a Nile monitor, I believe, habitat, since I think they actually have something different, but what they have there is not an exhibit, or it is an exhibit, so it goes in little boxes, what the Houston Zoo has there. So I want to do an actual habitat, so I need to pick a habitat animal and not an exhibit animal. So there's the frog statue, our big cobra statue, and the little frogs on the door. I love how they worked out great, I think. Oh, hey, I forgot you're still in here. But I'm going to need it, because right here they have a huge anaconda exhibit with some very large snakes. So I'm going to have to figure out next episode as well how to do that. So those are my plans moving forward. On the next episode is to do that on the inside, as well as all these empty spaces are implied habitats, so I'm going to fill those in as well, along with I think it's going to be the Nile monitor. Not making promises, but I think that's what it's going to be, the Nile monitor. So over here we have the Diamondback Terrapin. I don't see one. I looked in both. I never did see either. There's 4 in total. Each one has 2, but I don't see them. I was very unlucky with these exhibits and trying to find them. And I also see I need to kind of fix that in there where it actually goes up all the way. It's bothering me. So anyway, y'all might not have noticed until I said it. So we have the Implied exhibit that's going to go in the middle, in between. And then let's see, what do we have over here? I think this is, I think it's a rattlesnake. I can't remember. Let's see if we can find it. I don't see a snake in that one. So I was trying to make these kind of look like they are the same. Oh, there he is, under the rock on the left. I can see his little tongue waving. But anyway, I was trying to, make sure And then I kept the same species next to each other to try to make it look like one big exhibit instead of little ones, to make it a little easier. When you go through this section, there's the puff adder on the top of the rock. They have lots of little ones. There's really tiny ones all over the place, some really big ones, depending on what animal is inside. So the size of these exhibits, some are just little windows in, or one person can stand, and some of these can fit 3 or 4 people. But they do have lots of different types of reptiles in this wonderful little house. And so this is my rendition of it. And I'm looking for there he is back there. I see him. I keep accidentally walking into it. But anyway, he was hanging out on the wall. And who's over here? We have another frog. Let's see. Can I see the frog? Nope, I don't see it. I think these guys are small. I have several of these in here, so if I don't see this one, let's see. Let's get over here. If you I think I saw it right there under he's really tiny down at the bottom under a leaf, kind of in the middle of the screen. Towards the bottom of the screen, of course. Let's see. Who's next? We have the Goliath Frog. I didn't find them when I was doing the walkthrough. Let me see if I spot one, now, but I don't see it. And I thought I had 2 sets of Goliath frogs in here, but I don't think I did. I think I just have this one guy. Oh, I think it's back there on the left, and I thought it was a rock. It just went out of the camera. But there should be 2 of them in here. I think he's right there. He just looks like a rock. Anyway, so we'll do an implied habitat exhibit, whatever you want to call it, right there. Let's see who's in here. We have a snake. I didn't get to see the board long enough. Let's see if we can find the snake. I don't see it. And again, there's a breeding pair in each one of these. So I think there's one in the back on the left over there. And I think there's one in the back, actually on the left on both of them. Let's see. I can't see it if I get in there, but I'm not sure if that's a stick or a snake. Let's see. Well, maybe a rock or just a stick. I can't tell. Oh well. So we're gonna go this way. Let's see if we looked at this one. I think we have another frog one. I did a lot of frogs since we had frogs on the doors. When I repeated the exhibits, I went ahead and used the frogs. I think there's one under the leaf down the bottom right. There's a little green guy. And let's see, what's over here? Oh, we have the lesser, I'm not sure how to say it unless I'm reading it. But anyway, there they are. There's one right there. He's hanging out. I like that these are easy to find. Oh, he's actually using the climbing stick. So he's hanging out in the middle because they're a lot bigger. Those little tiny frogs, they're super hard to find inside. And the snakes do a good job of hiding as well. So we have another snake exhibit here. I'm not sure. Again, I'm having a hard time finding them. Let's see. I don't see one over here. Oh, it's on the right. Let's just walk in, I guess. There he is on the right bottom. All right. I'm looking for the one in here, but I don't see it. So, there's the other one. I think there's one there. Or maybe that's a plant. Let's see. Nope, that was just a plant right there. Man, they blend in. They do a good job of hiding in these little spaces. Okay, so who's next? We have the green iguanas. And these guys are up front and center. There's one right there. And then there's one right there. Hello, how are you? He's just staring. Oh, he's like, hey, giving the nod. He says, what's up? All right, there's one there. And I don't see this one's buddy. I just see the one right there. So hello, how are you? And oh, he's gonna do the same animation. So he's raising his head at us. That's so cute. All right, so let's see. We need to go this way. And we have the blue tongue lizard in here. Let's see if we can find one. I don't see any in this habitat, but let's check this one. Oh, there's one right under the basking light. That's a good spot for that basking light. It brings them up front. Oh, I see one in the back there. And it almost looks like there's one in the corner, like they had a baby already. So, all right. And I need to put a door right there. I forgot to put in my doors. Bad me. All right, what's over here? We have more blue tongue. Oh, maybe those were Gila monsters over there. And this is the blue tongue lizard. And then what do we have here? A snake. There's the snake right there. I think it's the eastern brown snake. And there's one hiding on the log there. That's going to be an implied. Let's see. This is the boa constrictor. There's one right there under the heat lamp. And let's see. Let's look in the other one. And oh, I see that one way in the back on the bamboo. He's giving a little climb. He's hanging out back there, or she. Let's see. And then we have frogs over here. I accidentally mixed the frogs. One of these, I think, is the one with the red eyes. And I don't see one. Nope. I do not see the tiny little guys. And then the other one is the golden frog again. Oh, hey! There's one right there on the glass. How cool is that? That's super cute. All right. So in the middle, we will be doing, let's see if I can find that frog one more time. I just can't find it. It is so hidden. Nope, don't see it. But right here, I'm going to be putting in some rocks. Yay for rock work. And making the implied exhibit for the anacondas, or whatever it was they had in there. I'll have to go look. But it was a python of some kind. So here's our back access, our employee area. So guests can't come back here. This is so they, oops, I have a rogue thing, but whatever. This is so they have access, to fix them, to feed them, whatever they need to do back here without getting in the way of the guests. So we have this little section, and then I'm going to put in a door right about where I just passed. So we're going to go over there in a second. But there's the full circle. And if we, oops, I'm going to come out here. So we're going to go through the implied, and because it's not done yet. And then we have this little section on each side too. So we'll go out this way. This is where I'm going to put in the implied snake habitat. And you have your little back access for both of those, so that the staff can service the exhibits without getting in the way. And then out here, this is where I'm going to put the actual habitat. I think it's going to be now monitors. And this is my favorite screenshot. She's just like, whoa. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing. And if you can catch one of my live streams, I'd love to chat with you while we build on the St. Louis Zoo. Have a great day, and may the RNG odds be ever in your favor.